today, the Buzzing Mosquito Fleet. You may say, but they're very, very fast, these karts. 250 cc's and some big talent here. Alan Jones, a good sight.
Certainly is, Daryl. I mean, these really are little miniature Formula One cars. Their power to weight ratio, that is to say, the power that they have given their weight, is probably equal to that of a Formula One car. You'll notice that they really do feel the bumps even more than a Formula One car because they don't have the luxury of suspension. So you'll see them bouncing all over the place. Aerodynamically, they can adjust the rear wing and get downforce from that. So in many ways, very similar to a Formula One car.
Let's show you how they line up. 48 karts here racing in this particular meeting today, and these karts really have to go onto proper race tracks. All right, on pole is kart number 96, that's Darren Edwards. Sitting beside him, kart 53, is John Barabas. So that's they've been very quick and very close together. Les May, kart 20, watch him, some years ago came from 25th on the grid to win. He's spectacular. Barbara Hepworth in car 2, you may recall, won pole position 2 years ago, hit the wall in the rainstorm and burst into flame. So as I said, 48 as they'll line up. Siebert, a big chance. That's row 3. You can see Woodgate as we go through the rows now. These karts, Alan, have to race on full-blown racetracks. They're too fast and too big, really, to go onto the go-kart tracks as we know them.
Yeah, that's right, Dale. I mean, there's different, go-karting and go-karting, and I think at this stage it's probably appropriate to tell you the difference, that sprint karts obviously don't have gearboxes, they don't have bodywork, they don't have rear wings, they're not 250cc. There is a considerable difference between go-karts, as the sort of normal layman would determine a go-kart to be, and these things which are called superkarts. And the normal go-karts, the sprint karts, race on purpose-built smaller circuits. They don't have gearboxes, they don't have wings, as I said before. These things are too powerful, slightly too big for the smaller go-kart tracks, so therefore they race on the full-blown racing circuits around Australia.
Wonderful pictures there as you see these little machines warming up their tyres and getting as much heat in as they can, zipping around the straight here, but they're very quick and their times are so deceptive. When you go and look at the timesheets after one of these events, really, I mean, they are quicker than a Group A, for instance, around here, your V8.
Steady down. The cornering speeds of these things are probably the quickest vehicle on the Adelaide Grand Prix circuit. They would be quicker, for instance, through this corner. They would be quicker than anything, quicker than a Formula One, because they are small, and obviously their cornering capabilities, given from the entry to the exit of the corner, there would be nothing here that would be quicker than them.
You're very protective of the Ford V8 there.
Nothing's quicker than the Falcon. Well, maybe Cam's.
As we said, 48 the field, so you'd really want to make a clean start off the grid, but there's so much slipstreaming involved and a tactical race. I mean, you can, as we said, Les May started in 25th spot just 2 years ago and actually went on to win the race.
Well, with these, as I keep referring back to that little miniature Formula One car, they're very precise on their steering. I mean, literally a quarter of an inch increment on the steering wheel is almost a full lock on these things. So as you go over the bumps, you've got to be very light on the fingers. You can't afford to be knuckle-fisted with them at all. It's important that you try and get a toe. That's to say that you stick behind the guy in front of you. He brakes the air and it makes your car give a few more revs and you pull out at the last minute. So slipstreaming is very important with them. They've got ventilated disc brakes all around, hydraulic disc. I mean, they're very sophisticated little things.
Cost of a kart like this, roughly?
Well, they're not cheap. I mean, they've all got basically imported engines. Rotax seem to be the flavour of the month in terms of power. A lot of the componentry is imported. You're probably looking at $25,000, $30,000, I would think.
So around $30,000 each. There's a bit of money sitting there with the 48 karts. Your son Christian has had an exceptionally good year in a different class of kart. 5 laps, race distance 19 kilometres. He's had a great year.
Yes, he has. So far, we've had a very successful year indeed.
Different class to this, of course. In fact, he's driving a number of classes. Okay, almost set.
Whoops, someone's got their hand up.
So we've got a problem there. You can see one of the karts sitting up there.
2 of them.
And that's Les May is one of those, is it? No, we'll just pick that up because he's absolutely stranded.
Yeah, it was Les May, Des, you're right.
What a shame.
Oh, well, we might be treated to another blitzing drive through the field again.
Well, he's an amazing guy. I mean, he's so quick. We'll pick up the leaders for you as they pour through.
Oh, that's a great shot. Look at that.
Isn't it a great shot? Now, this will give you an idea of how low to the ground they are.
And how bumpy they are, too. You watch this. Watch his head buffeting around. I mean, These guys, literally, as I said before, you can see the gear stick on the left-hand side. It's a column shift because it saves a bit of time. They don't have to take their hand away and pull it down to the side. All they do is move it a matter of inches away from the steering wheel and fall onto that gear stick. So they're very sophisticated. You can see the little rev counter there in front of him.
Barbara Hepworth.
Ooh.
Now, Barbara is 45 years old. She's had an amazing run, you know, to get here. A lot of amateur people from car clubs and kart clubs have helped her every year to get here. She's been racing for 27 years, 12 years on the short circuit. She's 5 times Australian champion in sprints, has been driving superkart since 1977. She is quite a character.
That's fantastic. I mean, we saw her a year or so ago hit that wall head on, which was a pretty monumental shunt, but she's back before, and she really does give the guys a major hassle in this class of racing.
You know, she placed 10th in the British Superkart Grand Prix in '89. She's the only woman racing in this category anywhere in the world. So another first for the Aussies.
You know, racing these things around here is actually quite dangerous. It's almost tantamount to racing a bike. By that I mean they don't enjoy rollover bars. They don't have safety belts to keep them within the chassis. So if they are unfortunate enough to go and hit the concrete wall, there's nothing to actually stop the body flying out of the machine. So in their own way, they're probably ranked as probably one of the most dangerous things around here. And of course, the chicanes seem twice the size when you're in one of these compared to a car.
Well, out in front of Barbara Hepworth, 53, 32 years of age, John Barabas. Now, he's been racing superkarts for 5 years. This is his 2nd year in the 250 international class. Twice Victorian champion in sprint racing, twice Victorian Gold Star champion in sprint racing, and has been racing karts on and off for 10 years. His kart is a 92 Anderson Mirage, the engine a Rotax 250, twin cylinder. That's an international model. The engine was the one used to win this race in 1989.
Yeah, Rotax seem to have the jump on most people in this form of racing. It seems to be favoured by the majority of the field. See them now, the nice clean line into this little straight, and we haven't seen too much slipstreaming at this stage, but as the race progresses, it'll become more and more important.
Incredibly quick, and they can get into contact. Now, kart 1, this is a big move here from Gerard Siebert, 7 times the Australian champion, 36 years of age, 8th in the World Championships. That was in 1992. He's the 93 Australian champion, and AJ, he's the big mover in kart 1 at the moment.
Well, a lot of these guys put different pressures in the tyres. Some of them put pressures in to have the tyre come on a little bit later, and it's all part of go-karting. You know, you've really got to work it out. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, well, it's just a matter of hopping in the thing and driving them. They're glorified billy carts with lawnmower engines in them. Nothing could be further than the truth. I mean, that really is a guy down the inside into the chicane, just having a bit of a look. I mean, you'll find that some of them experiment with tyre pressures, and by doing that, the tyres will come on a little bit later than the guy that started with slightly softer pressures. And you know, you'll see that perhaps halfway through the race or 3/4 way through the race, the guy that's chosen a different tyre pressure will come on strong, whereas the guy that's chosen another one may start going off.
Barbara Hepworth is really an aggressive driver. Gee whiz, she closed up a couple of times there under the braking area. What, she's really flinging this thing around. She's, of course, chasing John Barabas, who is still in front. And now, Siebert is really starting to close on her. This will be a really good couple of final laps.
It certainly will, and like everything else, it'll be very important how he comes off this corner we're going into now, Brewer's Corner. It's very important how he comes onto here, because that'll dictate his straight line speed, enable him to get a little bit of a toe and pull out. He may be just a little bit too far back to take full advantage of that toe, but we'll see it towards the end of the straight.
Barbara Hepworth, kart 2, the only lady racing in this class of kart. Now look at it, here we go from...
Here we go, Brian Stockman's going to... Here we go, under brakes, look at that, down the inside.
Barbara Hepworth takes the lead. Barabas comes back hard, but Hepworth holds the lead. So the lady's in front now. The only lady racing in this class of kart anywhere in the world has taken the lead. I said she was driving aggressively.
She's unbelievable. I mean, she really does know how to drive these things. Very clean too.
Has opened up a bit of a gap now. Barbara Hepworth, 45 years of age, and there'll be a lot of people right around Australia be so happy they help her get here, raising money in their local kart clubs to get her every year. She's a fantastic competitor. Out in front, had a shunt hit. It was a big one 2 years ago. Hit the wall, kart burst into flames. But look at this now. Siebert staying to close up. The 7-time Australian champion, 93 Australian champion in kart 1. He's now in touch. She's lost the lead.
John Barabbas has gone back. Now, this is going to be very interesting. We're going to this tight, twisty section here. They probably may very well maintain station until they get back onto, but look at this, there's 4 of them now. This is going to be interesting down Brabham Straight.
Yeah, all tactics now, all tactics. Anybody who can get in the slipstream now can really win this race. Out they come, it's John Barabbas. He's had to fight to get back. Look at the bumps and humps as he comes around. Now they're getting into the slipstream, AJ. Look at this.
Yeah, look at this. This is good stuff.
Barabbas still holding Hepworth. There she is, right in behind her. She's got a pack in behind her, running out of laps.
Darren Edwards is tucked in there too. He's just on the tail end. Look, he's pulling out now. Look at this now. There's a 2-car. Look at this. Look.
Hepworth.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh, from nowhere. Hepworth squeezes second. Oh!
A little touch of the tyres there.
Siebert goes out, cart 1. That big fight through, he took the gamble on the corner, didn't pay.
Well, they're so twitchy and they're so light. I mean, it's hard enough just driving them over the bumps, and once you get just the slightest little tap, then that's what spun him around. But Darren Edwards, having a big go here. He's having a look on the inside. He's decided to get back over to the left to have a cleaner exit, a nicer, cleaner exit out of the corner. Now, it remains to be seen whether he'll go down the inside into the chicane. Here we go. We're going to get a replay. Darren Edwards screams right out onto the outside. Barabbas comes through. Ah, no, that was his own fault, actually. There, he had a look on the inside of Barbara Hepworth. He actually went for a gap that wasn't there, and his front left-hand tyre touched her back right-hand tyre, and that's what spun him around.
Back with the action now. This is the final lap. Barbara Hepworth hanging on. Plenty of pressure coming from behind. John Barabbas has led most of the race, sharing the lead with Hepworth. But Hepworth now has got some traffic in front. This could make the difference. Coming up to kart 10 now, and you can see her line totally different. Trying to indicate she wants to go through now. Good driving there because she gets a nice line through there. Hepworth, can she hold on?
Whoa.
Historic if she can win this. Barabbas is second.
Now this is going to be very interesting. The last lap, nice, clean. Oh, that won't do him any favours. In fact, I think he gained one then. Should have been doing that for every lap. I think it's the quickest way.
45 years of age, Barbara Hepworth, can she hang on? The pressure will come at the end of the straight here. Here it comes. Edwards now into second place.
Yeah, he kept right over to the right down the straight, trying to stop the guy from getting a toe behind him. They haven't got a great deal of time to do it. She's got a nice little buffet now, I tell you.
Yeah, Barbara Hepworth hanging on. There'll be a final lunge just at the last corner coming onto the straight.
No, she's got a big enough
I think she's got enough space, AJ.
Yep, she's done well.
Comes around now. Well, this is a fabulous result because really she has struggled to get here every year. She's had problems here. One pole crashed just 2 years ago when a rainstorm hit the start. Barbara Hepworth takes it. Look how excited she is. Well done, Barbara Hepworth.
Yeah, great drive.
Edwards second, Barabbas third, and that was a good dice. Now, here's a replay coming up of an incident. Oh,
dear,
it got some air.
He was in the RAAF for a second then.
Gee whiz, that was Phelps. I hope he's all right, I think. He's a bit groggy. No, he puts a hand up. That might be for help.
Well, that's what I was talking to you before. The problem with these things, you don't have a rollover bar, you don't have any safety belt, so if you hit the wall, you're out of the seat.
Oh, that was a big shot, wasn't it? I can see what you're saying. Did you see the body getting flung there on the impact? That was pretty bad. John Phelps. Okay, well, incident packed race here, the first one out on the streets of Adelaide now. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us, Australia, as you look at Barbara Hepworth, the first winner.